Hi everybody, it's me, Danny Knowital. I'm down here in Provo with Kjzz, Channel 14, and we've had a lot of requests on the show for people wanting to know, as Utahns, as people that live here, our history. Okay, people coming across the plains, what's going on, all of that. There's no better place to learn a portion of our history than right here at the Crandall Historical Printing Museum. So we're going to go in here, and this makes it kind of fun for me, having kind of a background historically in not only this area, but migrating down from Canada through Scotland, that area from Russia. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to come in and we're going to talk to Louis Crandall, and he's going to give us kind of a history of the printing here and the Book of Mormon and different things. It's very exciting. Fun for me again because this is kind of my game, my background, and I'm going to be able to shed some light with Lou and help everybody understand a little bit better how things kind of took place here early days in Utah. So let's shoot on in. Okay, right here in our own backyard, you'll see things that you can see nowhere else on earth. You can go to Paris, you can go to France, you can go to the Louvre, you can go to the Smithsonian, but you won't see some of the one-of-a-kind pieces that are right here, Center Street in Provo, at the Crandall Historical Printing Museum. Our private tour guide today is Louis Crandall. I want you to introduce Lou. Lou, first of all, thank you for having us. We appreciate it. And
this is Wally Salem.
Wally, nice to meet you, sir. Lou runs the facility here, and there's nobody better on this planet to show us the real history of what's going on with all of this. So are we going to go on a quick tour of the facility? What would be best? Probably not a complete tour, but maybe the VIP tour.
Let's take 2 minutes. Walk over here and let's take a look at this. Let me tell you that you're in a very unique museum. We built this museum about 12, 13 years ago. It's our perspective that sets us apart from all other printing museums. The important event was not merely the invention of printing, it was the printing of the Bible. We affirm that Gutenberg was moved upon by the Holy Ghost to print the Bible. It was through the pages of the Bible that everyone learned to read until the 20th century. We also affirm that when Johann Gutenberg set up his famous print shop in Mainz, Germany, he could not afford even one press. And then he again built 6 presses. Why would that man, who had to borrow the money to put 1 press in that print shop, put 6 presses? We believe that he was leaned upon by our Father in heaven to push 6 presses in. I believe it was a time for the restoration. And so that 6 teams of men would know printing from A to Z. And when that book was printed, those 6 teams of men went out into the world, took those presses, and set up their own little print shop. And within a period of 50 years, a period of time called the incunabula. Incunabula is a Latin word that means out of the cradle. In that 50-year period, there were 20 million books printed. It brought the world out of the dark ages virtually overnight.
Wow. How many Book of Mormons do you think Gutenberg actually printed?
Well, now that's interesting because we know that the Bible took place when he printed that first book was 1450.
Okay, so
and the Book of Mormon, as you might remember, was in 1830. 1830. So that was 380 years later they printed the Book of Mormon.
Okay, so there is a discrepancy in time there.
That's right.
I must have been thinking about something else. Okay, all right. My bad.
This sheet was printed with our ink using German rye bread and 100 grams of Rogan, whatever that word is. It's a German word. And all these
Rogan meal. What that is, it's a wheat germ, Lou.
Is that
they used it early to make breads and pastries.
Wonderful.
Sure. Yeah.
We learn many things from those
just,
that come
between the two of us. Here's the interesting thing, and a lot of people maybe don't understand why would I know about this. Well, growing up in Canada, Gutenberg used this for ink. My mom actually used this to make gravy. Used it for gravy for potatoes.
Well, you know, that's that sounds a little funny, but let me tell you, they had parties outside the city walls while they made their ink because they did eat the onions and the bread that was cooked. A smart guy. Most people don't know that. Smart. They ate the bread and that rye out of that pot, and they had a party out of it as they made their ink for their printing.
Well, you know what? Between the 3 of us, we're going to shed some light on this whole printing process.
We are. Especially a man of your caliber in here.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you noticing that.
This is a page of a Bible that is 800 years old. And if you'll notice the beautiful rubrication of those sweet monks did on that.
This is all hand?
It's all hand done. You see, every book in the world before Gutenberg was all hand done. There were booksellers in the world who sold books to rich families and then take a year to
Wow,
deliver
really
that book.
So that's why they're so expensive. You're doing one at a time, writing it out. Here's kind of interesting to know too. You'll notice this isn't in English, being that the monks were handwriting it. It's in Monconian.
No, it was not Monconian.
Oh,
in fact, well, no. The language at that time was the biblical language was Latin.
That is literally, I don't know if you can see that, see the printing, that's almost 600 years old that I'm holding right there. It's a privilege for me. So being that old, this is probably made of calf skin, so this is very tough. You couldn't rip this no matter...
No, don't. Okay, now, turn around, we'll take a look at this printing press. We are the only museum in the world that has made the type and distributed it in the cases and then set 2 pages of the Gutenberg Bible. Exactly the way Johann Gutenberg did that 600 years ago.
Okay, here's one of the things that I've asked Lou to do, and he's been gracious to accommodate us, is we're going to actually print a page, a couple of the pages of the actual Gutenberg Bible, if you will, on a real replica. So Lou's going to show us how to do this, but Lou, I just want to ask you this, and I think a lot of people would be interested. Historically, Gutenberg, you hung out with him. Was he a nice guy? Was he...
No, Gutenberg. I didn't actually know Gutenberg.
Oh, you didn't meet him?
No. As a matter of fact, he lived about 600 years ago.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. That's all right. Lou, show us how to print one of these things.
Okay. Oh. 1,280 pages per book. You just printed 2 of 1 book, and there it is.
There you go. With my help, Lou and I have replicated what Gutenberg himself would have done on a genuine Gutenberg press. 2 pages, right there. If we had time, typically I would read some of this to you in Latin, but we don't for this particular piece. So.
If you could do that in Latin, we'd be very interested in having you come over occasionally to help us. That would be wonderful. Why don't you read the first couple of 3 lines?
I don't know that we have time so much for actually reading. Okay, we are now finishing our tour here at the Crandall Historical Printing Museum on Center Street in Provo. Just wanted to thank Louis Crandall for having us. You're awesome, sir. Thank you. Wally, appreciate it. Okay, and July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, you need to come down here, go through these tours. You need to meet these gentlemen and the history that they show and the freedoms that were gained through people being able to have access to these printed materials, and they'll show exactly how it's done. They're also going to show you how the Book of Mormon was printed correctly and some of the history behind that. So we want to thank you guys for letting us come out here. Be All Over TV, another great segment. And I think we've shed light, all of us together, gentlemen, on how this whole thing worked, right from Gutenberg and printing the Bible right up to printing today.
Great.
So thank you very much, guys. And we'll see you guys at Colonial Days.